All right, today I'm going to be taking you through the structures and function of the circulatory system. So let's start by taking a look at the main job of the circulatory system, which is to transport water, nutrients, and waste to and from the different cells of the body. The circulatory system does this by connecting to some of our other body systems. So to transport nutrients, we're going to be connected to the digestive system. We have to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide, and that happens in the lungs, in the respiratory system. And then your circulatory system is also going to be connected to your excretory system, which is your kidneys and liver, in order to get rid of extra materials and waste products that might build up in your body. We're going to take a look at the different structures that are going to allow this to happen. So there's three major parts of the circulatory system. First, we have blood. Main job of blood is to carry our food, oxygen, and waste to the different parts of the body. Then we have blood vessels. These are structures through which the blood travels. Blood is always enclosed inside of blood vessels or the heart, which is going to pump the blood throughout the body. We're going to start by first taking a look at the different parts of blood. So blood is made up of 4 different parts. The first are the blood cells. So there's 2 types of blood cells. We have red blood cells. Red blood cells carry oxygen to the different parts of your body. And white blood cells are going to identify and kill any kinds of pathogens, germs like bacteria and viruses that might come into your body. So they're your body's immune system, your defense against those things. Your blood also contains plasma, which is the liquid portion of your blood. It carries the nutrients that need to go around your body. It is mostly water, and you will also find waste in that plasma. But your blood is mostly made of plasma, which is mostly water. And then finally, we have platelets. Platelets are small cells or pieces of cells that are going to actually help you to stop bleeding when you get a cut. And they will form scabs after you have cut yourself so that you do not continue to bleed. All right, next we're going to take a look at our blood vessels. Blood vessels are one-way tubes that run all throughout our body, and the blood travels through those. And there's 3 main types of blood vessels. The first are arteries. The main job of arteries is to carry blood that has a lot of oxygen in it away from the heart to all the different parts of the body. So I often remember this because arteries, in a way, both start with A. The main artery of the body is the aorta. It is the largest one that leads directly from the heart, and it brings all of that oxygenated blood out to all the different parts of the body. From the aorta, there are many different types of arteries that are branching out to all the different parts of your body to make sure blood gets to everywhere that it needs to be. The second type of blood vessel are veins. Veins carry oxygenated blood back to the heart from the body. So this is deoxygenated blood is blood that has very little oxygen in it and has a lot of carbon dioxide. The main vein in your body, the largest vein, is the vena cava, and there's 2 branches of that. The superior carries blood to the heart from areas that are above the heart, and the inferior carries blood back to the heart from areas that are below the heart. And again, there's a lot of different kinds of veins all throughout the body that will collect blood after it has dropped off all of its oxygen and nutrients. In order for that drop off of oxygen and nutrients to happen, we have very small blood vessels called capillaries. These are the smallest of the blood vessels. One of the things they do is they connect veins and arteries to each other. So that's why blood is always enclosed within a blood vessel. Also, through capillaries, oxygen and nutrients will diffuse to cells. So when we say diffuse, that means they're going to move from the blood into our cells. And waste products like carbon dioxide and ammonia will diffuse from the cells into our blood so that we can get rid of those waste products. All right, so when we talk about circulation, there's 2 main types of circulation that happen in the body. The first is pulmonary. This is the blood flowing from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart. So we have blood that is going to flow From the right side of the heart, it's going to go to the lungs. There it will pick up oxygen and drop off carbon dioxide, and then it travels back to the heart. So that is the pulmonary circuit, and the word pulmonary actually means lungs. And then we have the systemic circulation, and from there, this is where blood flows from the heart out to the entire body and then back to the heart. And this is the delivering of nutrients and oxygen to cells and the picking up of waste. So we're going to take a look specifically at the heart and how the heart connects to these different parts of the body. All right, so this is a main picture of the heart that's showing some arrows and some different things that are labeled in there. So we're going to kind of take a travel through the heart as blood goes around your body and gets pumped to where it needs to be. So we're going to start at the right atrium. So deoxygenated blood from the body is going to flow into the right atrium from the vena cava. So the right atrium is here, and this is the vena cava, and so that blood has just come back from the body, and it's going to flow into the heart, and it has very little oxygen in it because it just dropped off all of that oxygen. So that's kind of step one. Next, the blood is going to move down into the right ventricle, and from there it will get pumped up to the lungs through these arteries called pulmonary arteries. And while at the lungs, it's going to pick up oxygen and drop off carbon dioxide. Now that newly oxygenated blood that just came from the lungs is going to flow through the pulmonary veins here back into the left atrium. So it's going to come back to the heart from the lungs. And then it's going to move down to the left ventricle, where it will then be pumped out the aorta, and that blood will then flow to all the different parts of the body to drop off its oxygen. And that's kind of our cycle. Once that has been dropped off, that blood will then go back into the vena cava, and the entire cycle happens again. So here is that picture again that we had at the beginning. And so if we just kind of step through that, here's the vena cava. So the blood comes into the vena cava, into the right atrium. It travels down to the right ventricle. Then it's going to go out to the lungs, where it's going to pick up oxygen. It's going to come back from the lungs into the left atrium, down to the left ventricle, where it's going to get pumped out the aorta and to all the different parts of the body.